YouTuber prankster shot and wounded by target of practical joke. All right. Tanner Cook, 21, was reported playing joke on man at Virginia Mall when victim of prank shot him in abdomen. A popular U.S. YouTuber creator who prides himself on making videos in which he displays odd behavior to put off intends to keep at it. Okay. Even after one of his targets allegedly shot him nearly to death. You know, like the person who wrote this, they're like, Raymond Antonio Vargas, right? I'm seeing I'm seeing the tone in how you wrote this article, right? He says, and he says, and hopes to keep at it, right? And says Tanner Cook, who regularly makes videos of himself pranking strangers, for nearly 40,000 subscribers on his channel. So listen, is your life worth 40,000 subscribers? You know, maybe is your life worth 41,000, right? Because I'm sure this brought some new subscribers to you, right? What's your life worth? That's the question you have to begin to ask yourself, Tanner. You know, what is your life worth? Was reported playing a practical joke on a man at a mall in Washington suburb of Dulles, Virginia, at midday on Sunday. You know, one of those Sunday afternoons, man. Like after a long service at church, this guy was tired. A friend was recording him when things took an almost deadly turn. According to authorities, as well as an interview Cook gave to the local TV station, the man identified as 31-year-old Alan Coley pulled a gun and shot Cook in the stomach. Investigators allege Cook, 21, survived the wound and had to undergo surgery after first responders brought him to a hospital in critical condition. I was simply playing a simple joke. And this guy, what's up with all these advertisements? Google, thank you. And this guy didn't take it well. Oh, this guy, Cook told WUSA from his hospital bed. Cook said the man who shot him didn't say anything before firing on him. I mean, what should he say, right? I'm not sure what the practical joke was, so I'm going to keep reading. Which authorities said also caused a panic amongst mall goers. Yeah, I would assume so. A firearm going off. Criminal complaint filed against Coley after the shooting identified Cook as his alleged victim. A criminal complaint filed against Coley. So which one's Coley? Oh, so Coley's the one that shot, and he's the one that had a criminal complaint against him. After shooting, they identified Cook as his alleged victim. According to a report in the local London Times Mirror, the complaint did not specify a motive for the attack, saying only it resulted from an interaction between Coley and Cook. It also said Coley was sitting in the shopping center food court near a pistol when officers arrested him and subsequently booked him on counts of aggravated malicious wounding, shooting in the commission of a felony, and discharging a firearm within an occupied building. All right. It sucks. Both situations suck, right? Number one, the YouTuber getting shot, that sucks. The person who was the recipient of the prank getting arrested and going to jail and going to get booked for this situation also sucks, right? And it says here that, you know, sometimes people in the clips are provoked in traumatic reactions. In one video, a man being pranked runs at the camera, and in another clip, a store manager calls the police. All right? So let's move with this one, and then we'll figure it out from there, right? So I can't say that I would ever do that, right? Number one, I would never be on either one of those sides, right? I would probably not necessarily entertain the YouTuber, maybe think it's a prank, but not everyone's like that. Not everyone likes being pranked, being the butt of a joke. But back to my original conversation, back to what I was saying, is that you have to remember what they call a prank, right? A prank normally is when both parties are laughing. In this situation, both parties were not laughing, right? I don't think anyone no one left laughing in this situation. And I'm only chuckling because both people ended up surviving. I'm hoping that the charges are dropped or limited. And I understand, like, maybe the guy shouldn't have pulled out the gun and stuff like that. So he's going to get held accountable for that. Because number one, being a gun owner doesn't mean that you pull out your gun anytime you feel like you're embarrassed or anything like that. It's supposed to be an actual active threat, right? So you're in threat, your life is threatened, then you pull out the gun and then you shoot someone. Not necessarily sure what the prank was. So if the prank was some type of threat or maybe it was a joke about a threat, then he may have a way out of the situation, right? But if it wasn't, like, if it was to say I was getting embarrassed and I didn't like your prank, then more than likely you're going to go to jail or you're going to have to pay a fine for discharging your firearm. And this is where I need to tell these guys, like, you have to understand wrestling, right? If you understand wrestling, you can be successful in this YouTube world, right? And you see how people are just going into the hood and trying to prank gangsters, and or so-called gangsters, or they go into the so-called hood. You know, a lot of those scenes are staged, right? Like they speak to the person beforehand, or they're paid actors, you know, and then they say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to walk around the counter and I'm going to act like this, I'm going to do that. These are all, many of them are staged, what you see online. And then you have people who come in and like, oh, hey, look, they didn't know it was staged, right? Back to that wrestling, and they're trying to do a suplex on the bed, not realizing that both parties are supposed to be involved in some type of suplex to be like, hey, when I turn your neck like this, you're supposed to do this, you know, so that you don't break your neck. This YouTuber doesn't understand that. You have to understand what we're living in now, right? Number one, there's a greater percentage of what you see online is staged. It's fake. It is pre-rehearsed. So now when you go into a mall and you're saying, hey, I'm going to do something that's not pre-rehearsed, I'm going to do something that people should just, you know, they're going to be able to laugh at, I want to get a natural reaction. Well, both parties should laugh, right? If both parties are not laughing, there is a chance that it results in one person getting shot, all right? And one person getting hurt. And this is the thing that you have to realize is that in this situation, he's like, oh, I'm going to keep doing it. Is 41,000 subscribers worth your life? Right? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That's the generation gem. That's the gem. What is worth your life? What is your life worth to you? And if you really want to be successful at this pranking, you know, well, understand that a lot of it, the stuff that you see online, the most successful channels and the most successful views and the most views, a lot of times are like prepared and staged, and both parties know about it and things like that, right? So understand that. Understand that it's not just something that you just turn on the camera and everyone's gonna get what that. Expect a natural reaction, and this gentleman had a natural reaction. It was it was pulling out a gun and shooting you, and you're like, oh man, this is for great reviews, and your friends were sitting there just recording, and and I don't know, like I'm sitting here like as a friend, like, you know, as the person, maybe you hired the camera guy. So he's like, listen, I'm out of this. I'm just gonna film this thing. I am not intervening. I'm just the camera guy, right? Or maybe that was a real friend to you. You guys grew up together, and the friend saw that person pull out the gun and was like, you know, he assessed the situation here, and he's like, man, my life is not worth 41,000 views. I can't intervene right here, right? This is on my friend. So understand, that's the thing. Understand that you walked away with your life, right? What was the guy's name? So I can make sure I remember this guy's name. You walked away with your life, right? It says YouTuber Tanner Cook, 21 years old, man. You want to live to at least 60 or 70 years old, right? So this is something that you can definitely mark in your life and say, hey, You know, I was doing YouTube videos and and I was successful at it. I got 40,000 views, which is an amazing 40,000 subscribers. That's an amazing goal. Maybe shift that to monetize it in other ways, where that you're not threatening people that carry firearms. Right. That is my generation gem today. Enjoy it. I'm so excited that you guys tuned in and took a listen. But number one, I want to talk to to these YouTubers that think that they can walk into certain situations, and when you get a natural reaction, I'm not sure who filed the police report, right? But I'm just asking, is it fair for the YouTuber to press charges? You know, which one is it? Is it fair that the gentleman who pulled out his discharges his weapon to go to jail, or should he just pay a fine? Because this is, I mean, he was good. He was walking on his I don't know if he was in a mall, whatever they were in. He was enjoying his Sunday afternoon. He was going to end up going home. He had no problem. Someone decided to interject themselves into his life, right? And yes, I don't think he should have, I don't personally think he should have discharged his firearm. Number one is because if you're a gun owner, it should be only if you are threatened, right? You are an absolute threat, and you know that your life is in jeopardy. Then you can pull out the gun. That's what a gun owner, right? A responsible gun owner should adhere to. And that's my kind of like my PSA. If you are a responsible gun owner, do not discharge your firearm unless your life is threatened, right? That's also a lesson, right? That's definitely a lesson for the individual. But the lesson for the YouTuber here, what does he walk away with? What's his lesson? Because he's like, I'm not changing anything. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. You got to change something, Either you got to change the mall that you go to. You got to change the type of people that you approach. You got to change your camera guy. You have to walk around with a bulletproof vest, but definitely change something. Do not say that you're going to keep everything the same. Change something, right? So I really think that alone, I sit there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, why would you sit there and just like get yourself involved in that? Just say thank God you walked away with your life. I am happy that you walked away with your life. I'm super excited that you still have your life. You walked away with it. But all right, now it's time to just change something, right? All right, till the next time.